because we had that comment that Russ should Russ should wear a vest or something, because like something without sleeves. I almost just sort of went like,
you should grab like your t-shirt and like put your entire arm in.
no trade.
Be a little T-Rex.
Can I get both my arms in here without ruining my shirt?
Oh no.
Worth it.
Maybe I should play with my sleeves whenever you're talking or I'm talking, and then we can just kind of like trade.
Welcome back, everybody, to the DLF Trade Show. I am your host, Russ Fisher, here with my boy, Addison at Amaze Hayes. I almost called you Amaze Hayes at Addison, and that would be backwards and wouldn't make sense. But that's how excited I am to be here talking trades with you. That's what's happening.
I love
it. Yeah, I know, right? And another reason I'm happy is because Addison made my life so easy this week because, last week we talked about, it would be awesome to be able to get, these guys' opinion as to why they did, what direction are they taking their team. Addison picked trades I made this time. And it's like, look at that. We got it right here. It's me. I can do this. How you doing, man? I feel like it's been forever. How you feeling? How you doing? We do good?
Great. Yeah. We're all good. I want free agency to do something. That's why I feel like I'm that meme where like, is that guy poking the thing with the stick and it's like, do something.
Well, things have happened. Not like the greatest things, but things have happened.
It's all defensive. And
and like small named wide receivers. And hey, as of right now, you can't say that there is a 0% chance Juju goes back to the Steelers because he hasn't signed anywhere.
Exactly. That's why I said to someone else, I was like, I can't wait to sign him for like a 4-year, like $4 million deal because he can't get better anywhere else. I love it.
That would be rough for Juju. Not gonna lie, that is a bruised ego after that one. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about trades. Trade Addicts 8. This is 12-team Superflex PPR tight end premium, 1.75 points per tight end reception. So this first trade is Adam Thielen for KJ Hamler and the 203. Now, again, this was my team, so I can walk you through it, but Addison still did the work. He still went into the league, and he pulled up the two teams and what directions he thought was happening. So why don't you take us along the trip of these two teams?
Sure, yeah. I won't say which one's yours just yet. But I did this kind of for me, so I understood the context more of the trade as well. So Team A, that is the team that gave up Adam Thielen. They were the third place team, finishing 7-6 in the regular season. I looked at their team, and I have yet to really determine what the direction is. Their quarterbacks are Justin Herbert and Baker Mayfield, after losing Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees both to retirement in like a 2-month span. Running backs are James Conner, Tony Pollard, Mark Ingram, a bunch of other not great players. Wide receivers are Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Marvin Jones, and then Logan Thomas, Gronk, and OJ Howard at tight end, which I think is pretty solid for a 1.75 tight end premium. So you can kind of see what I mean, that don't really know which direction to go. There's some age on there. There's some youth on there. There's some upside pieces. There's some pieces going on the downhill. So it'll be interesting to see how this team plays out for the rest of the offseason. But then Team B, that is a team that received Adam Thielen for KJ Hamler and the second round pick. They went 4-9 in the regular season, but after looking at their team, I feel like they kind of got unlucky. And you'll see what I mean here. So they have Pat Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and then Trubisky, Mariota, Luck, and my boy Trace McSorley at the quarterback position. And then Saquon, Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, and Melvin Gordon at running back. Lost 2 of those pieces pretty early on in the year. Wide receivers, Mike Evans, now Adam Thielen, Brandon Cooks, Will Fuller, Corey Davis, and Curtis Samuel. Some guys that missed some of the year. He didn't have Adam Thielen. Cooks did nothing for the first 10 weeks. Fuller didn't do anything for the last 4 weeks. Davis was hit or miss. Curtis Samuel was hit or miss. Evans didn't do much. So that's why I said that it felt like he kind of got unlucky with the pieces that he has. And then at tight end, he's got Zach Ertz and Tyler Higbee. and also has the 1.03 to his name as well. So I think it's an interesting team, and I think that he is trying to make a push with the pieces that he has, because I think he's got some pretty solid pieces: Mahomes, Saquon, Cook, Mixon, Evans, Thielen. That 1.03 could be a pretty solid top tier elite rookie. So overall, I think I like that trade from the team B perspective, the team that got Adam Thielen, because I think that just further helps to push him in the contending direction. Okay,
so first, let me say I thought we were friends. Obviously, clearly you went against what I did, but also it's funny when Addison came to me, he's like, I have no idea what you're trying to do. And I said, funny story. Neither do I. The real story is, yes, I am team A that traded away. I almost said the completely wrong name. I traded away Adam Thielen. And here's the real story of what happened. I did come in third place last season, except I just kind of hated my team. There's no real reason. I just had a lot of pieces that I think were declining, and it was really tough to get a bunch of trades going on, because this league was the first year of this league last year, and somehow it just ended up being insanely top heavy. And I just knew if my assets were already declining, I'd be kind of not in a good place. So we had a team leave, which means in the Trade Addicts leagues, every time any team leaves, that opens the chance for a second chance dispersal. And I said, I kind of don't like my team. Why not? Let's just join it. I don't care that I came in third place, which, side note, if you don't love your team, you should be joining second chance dispersals, because you may be playing with idiots like me who jump in for no reason. Like I joined almost all of them that I could in the Trade Addicts leagues, mostly just because they're fun. It's another draft, and it always leads to more trading when you're done. So yes, so my team is not exactly what it was last year. But now it is what it is. And usually when you join a dispersal, you leave with a team that you're closer to needing to rebuild than you are to competing. And I knew this, but I also assumed grabbing Thielen and grabbing, spoiler alert for the future, grabbing Julio, that I would be able to move them and hopefully get some better assets. This turned out to be harder than I thought it would. Mostly because I'm impatient and I didn't want to wait until, the point scoring season started, where people need these older assets, because the hardest time to sell anyone over the age of 25 is in March. It's just, point of fact at this point.
Right.
So I was bothering Rocky, my co-host at Trade Addicts, who is the owner of this team, because I know he is the opposite of ageist. So I'm like, take Thielen, take Thielen, take Thielen. And finally, he just sent this to me, and I'm like, it's something. I'll take it. That's fine. And sadly, that's exactly what it was. It seemed close enough to me. To me, Thielen is. I would want to see a 1 at the beginning of the pick I am getting for Adam Thielen, just because of the points he has always scored. I honestly don't know if that's a reality anymore. Just because his age, because Justin Jefferson's on the field now, and because with Rudolph gone, Irv Smith is there, and the world has exploded that Irv Smith is the next greatest thing, which, don't get me wrong, I do actually really like Irv Smith, but that's not taking away from Thielen. Besides the point. So to me, I wanted to get an early second, and I wanted a little bit on top. So my original offer was Thielen for the 203 and the 303. And he came back with the 203 and KJ Hamler. And in my head, is there the biggest difference in the world between KJ Hamler and the 303? Probably I'd rather have the pick, but I just said, what the hell? It wasn't going to get any better. So I took it.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. I guess let's just jump straight into the analyzer. Oh, that's right. We didn't get to talk about the DLF Trade Finder, because I sort of found these trades because I did them. But don't forget to use the DLF Trade Finder if you're ever curious what other people are getting for players like Adam Thielen. But on the Trade Analyzer, Adam Thielen is 177.8. The 203 is 152.1. KJ Hamler, 18.5. KJ Hamler is almost the amount of the package value adjustment. That is that. So this came out to a 21-point difference between the two sides, which equals about the 402. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think I would win any poll that came out with me trading Thielen away. Because like I said before, the value of his points are worth more than his dynasty value. So I accept this. I accept that. To be fair, I didn't even think it would be this close. but I would have accepted, regardless what it said my loss was, because of the direction I'm taking my team and because of that tough difference between fantasy value and dynasty value when it comes to players over the age of 26.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it would have looked a lot nicer with a 1 in that pick at the beginning. And, you know, Twitter and Dynasty community definitely would have liked to see that first rounder as well. Although there's probably a lot of people that would have said that that was an overpay. Like this 2.03 and that little extra KJ Hamler third round pick added onto it is probably pretty perfect. And it agrees with the trade analyzer as well. Yeah. And I mean, a reminder, this is a Superflex 2.03. So you have the potential, depending on how the draft goes, if you decide to keep that pick at possibly like a top 7 wide receiver in this class. Like looking at DLF ADP for that 2.03, you're looking at like either a Kenny Gainwell at the running back position or like a Terrace Marshall, Tylen Wallace kind of wide receiver after like the top 5, basically. I think it would be nice if you could turn this 203 and turn it back into a top 5 wide receiver. Like if you get barely back into that first round at the end there, and depending on how it falls, you could get like a Bateman or a Rondale Moore or Jalen Waddle or somebody like that, you know. But overall, the direction that you're heading with the 2.03, I think definitely makes sense for you. I think the direction that Rocky's heading, getting Adam Thielen, definitely makes sense for him. Overall, this is just one of those trades where the trade is very fair and it appeals to both teams' directions on where they're heading. And this is like just a perfect example of what a dynasty trade should be. It's helping both of y'all, and it's fair, so nobody can really get upset about it. And that's that, you know?
Yeah, and this is also a little bit of a lesson, at least even for me, because Rocky does have the 111, and I was going after that hard. You know, I wanted to see that one. You know, so I was trying to add little bits to try and get to the 111. And he's like, look, I'm just not going to give up a 1 when Adam Thielen is the main part coming over. And I said, I don't like it, but I accept it. And that's the tough part, because I am a little bit, I trade for fun. You know, I am Dynasty House and I have a trading problem. So really what it comes down to is if I'm bored and it's okay, I'll end up taking it. But like with Thielen, like I had my heels a little dug into the ground that I wanted to see that 1 in front. Until I realized it just wasn't going to happen. Like, after a while, you have to just sort of understand each league is its own market. So there are 9 trade addicts leagues. I have Thielen in probably a couple of them. I may be able to get the 111 in some of those leagues. It wasn't happening in this one. And that's what's important. You know, value is not a straight line over every single league ever invented. You know, trade analyzers are wonderful because they give you a base idea of what you should be looking for. But that doesn't mean that it's going to work. You can't just be like, look, the trade analyzer says this is a good trade. That means you have to accept it. I mean, in this case, it sort of worked out in that way anyway, but that's not really the point. So yeah, this was also like, this was a great lesson. Even for me, it was just one of those, just take those heels out of the ground, you know, sit down, think about it, realize if you are intent on getting this guy off your team, like I was with Thielen, find the best you can get. And if the best you can get isn't that far off from what you thought it was anyway, just go with it. You know, take something, don't lose out on everything because you're being stubborn.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's funny too that a week later, Rocky did move that 111 for Mike Evans.
Yes, he did. And I understand, but also yelled at him that I wanted that pick.
Well, when you have your choice between Evans and Thielen.
Well, no. I mean, yes, you are correct in what you're saying, but you don't need to say it just because you're just going to start hurting my feelings more.
I'm sorry.
All right, well, I mean, let me scroll down. Yeah, that wraps us up for another episode of the DLF Trade Show. We were having so much fun. I just wanted to keep going, but that is all. I am Russ Fisher at Dynasty Outhouse. That is Addison Hayes at AmazeHayes _ If I slow down and think about it, I could say it correctly. We are the DLF Trade Show on the DLF YouTube channel. Thanks for checking us out, and we'll see you next time.